Hello and welcome to All Things Seniors. This is your host, Rafiq. With over 20 years of caregiving experience, on this channel, I empower caregivers one episode at a time. So over past 3 months or so, my father, went through a procedure where we had to remove the last remaining 9 teeth that he had. And I thought that I should create an episode where I share our family's experience of going through that procedure, and hopefully it will help you better plan, better on the day of post-surgery, what are the things that we went through, and hopefully it will help you plan with your loved one as well. About 6 months or so ago, when we went for my father's, periodic dental checkup, the dentist said that, hey, you know what, your teeth health is not very good. I would recommend you to go and see this specialist. Booked an appointment, went there in a month. The specialist said that, I think it's time that we take care of this remaining 9 all at once and put the full denture. My father was never too much into the physical appearance of, hey, I want to put one small tooth in between and to cover the holes and whatnot. He was okay with his appearance as he was losing some of his teeth over the year. But now finally losing all 9, we had to make a decision as to what's the best way. Should we create a denture right away so that as soon as you remove the last 9, you put a denture, or what? So what the specialist suggested, what will happen that his jaws will sink or come a little bit closer because there is no more teeth in between, right? So it will come even closer and it will slowly and gradually change the shape or the posture of his lower jaw here, and the denture will have to be then adjusted again if we right away make a denture. So the specialist suggested that once we remove his last teeth, we wait for about 3, maybe 4 months to allow my dad's jaws to settle down. He also said that the bones will shrink a little bit, and with the new shape of the jaw, the denture that will be made in about 4 months' time will be better suited. So I think that was a decision-making thing for us, and as a family we decided, sure, we'll go with that. What does that mean? It means that for about 4 months my dad will have no teeth, and it will be difficult for him to chew anything semi-solid or anything hard. So we had to plan for that. Okay, so once we made up our mind, the next thing was when to do it, right? And like what should be the procedure date? And we decided that we will go with first week of January. And I'll tell you our reasons. Please see what works for you. We wanted my dad to enjoy the holiday period, like the last 2 weeks of December, when the whole family is enjoying feast, meals and all that. And then February is the month in which we have multiple birthdays in our family, and it's a lot of every weekend is a fun party time. So we wanted to have it as early as possible in January so that he had some healing by the time we come in February, and he's back to be able to enjoy the meals coming up in February. Now in your case, try to find a spot like about 6 to 8 weeks time where there are no big family meals or weddings or birthdays, so that your loved one can have a healing period and then come back to enjoying the usual life. Okay, going back to my dad's timing thing, right? So we got the procedure done on I think 3rd of January. On that day, we went there. I was with my dad all the time. Even in the waiting area, I was just patting his thigh. Like, my dad is strong. I'm sure that he was okay with it. He made this decision of going all 9 together, knowing that it will be a little bit of pain. Doctors had to sedate my dad, right? So the whole procedure, like for me, it sounds scary, but my dad was surprisingly okay. I was trying to be as supportive, trying to distract his mind. In the end, the procedure took about an hour or so. We came back home. We had already planned what cold, like ice creams or cakes or smoothies or anything which is liquid my dad would have. But see, knowing that once the procedure is done, he will not be able to enjoy any of the regular meals. Leading up to the procedure, pretty much every day I would ask my dad, hey, your surgery is just 3 days away. What would you like to have? He would say, okay, this is my favorite restaurant. I know I won't be able to have it for next 6 weeks or like 2 months. Let's go there. So we enjoyed his favorite 5 or 6 meals in the last week of December leading up to his procedure day. And now the time was that the procedure was done, and for about 4 weeks or so he had to have very liquefied meals. We're very blessed that my family is there. My sister, my mom, my wife, they all really take care of my dad along with me. As a family, we were there for him, and my dad was feeling okay. He was slowly coming out of it. The first couple of days was obviously tough. There was more pain. He was taking some meds, but I think by the end of week 1, his wounds were more healed. There was no apparent sign of him under physical pain. It was more about getting used to this new life of not brushing the teeth, but rather using the mouthwash, because again, liquid form, right? And all those things, from sometimes we don't realize how one change change will affect or bring new changes to your life. For me as a caregiver, somebody who spent a lot of time with my dad, I think anyone who is close to my dad, one thing which I felt personally, and if I try to verbalize it, how suddenly my dad started to look very old. He started to look very old just in 1 hour. You see, what happens that, when we all are aging, we all see our family members, our loved ones every day, every hour, right? So we don't see those smaller changes, those physical changes that happen. If you see somebody after 10 years, you'll say, wow, you've grown up or you look very different. But the people with whom we live, we don't see those changes happen, right? Everyday changes we don't see. My dad, when he was losing one tooth and, a couple of teeth here and there, change was very gradual for past 3-4 years. But on this particular day, afternoon of January 3rd, when he lost all remaining teeth, the way now his face sunk or became smaller, I felt that, wow, he's aging. He's getting old. Honestly, I felt that, am I losing my dad? And I think that is something which was looking from a physical signs, that was a big change. But my dad is in high spirits. It's already been 2 months. We had to wait for maybe another month or so, and then we'll go for the denture process. And when the time will come, I'll share more details with you as well. I think that was the biggest change for me. Before I share a couple more thoughts on this post-surgery changes. If you like what you are seeing, like the episode, subscribe to the channel. YouTube will see that caregivers are liking it. They will show it to more caregivers. That's the hope, so that we can help more people around the world. Going back to my dad's post-surgery changes, I think one thing I also felt that, what happens that as a family, when you see that, how can I help my dad? For example, if you're at a restaurant and you see maybe a little bit of food on his chin, he don't realize, and he'll say, Dad, napkin, and he'll take care of it right away, because that's what as a family we do, right? If you see something in your family members' attire or something, you'll give them a positive feedback so that others don't see it that way. You help your family member, right? I felt that when my father now has a different way of chewing or unable to chew, right? He was consuming food a bit differently. For example, now after 4 weeks or so, all his wounds are healed. If we'll go to a restaurant, when previously he would eat chicken like using a fork, now he had to literally shred the chickens to be able to eat chicken, right? And that's a different way of eating for him as well. And now consuming that food, sometime it will fall on his napkin or will touch his chin. And I'm trying to be less commenting about it. You know what I mean? That I don't want to right away say, look at this, look at that, or fix it, or use the napkin, because I don't want him to be critical of himself or oversensitive about it. I want to first him to enjoy, or at least get used to this new way of life. And that is something which I am getting used to. Another thing, as a family, previously we would say, let's go there, as a restaurant, without thinking much about we all can chew. But now when we are picking up a restaurant, we have to be mindful of, do they have on their menu options which are more soft to eat for my dad to be able to enjoy his meal as well, right? And that is something which, as a family, I always say that caregivers, we love our loved ones. That's why they're called loved ones, right? Love our family members. And these are the smallest of considerations that we can do to be able to be there for my dad in his, in a way, new way of living for my dad, right? I also see that sometimes now when my dad says something, a phrase that he has always been using, his pet phrase, but now he say it a bit differently because he does not have teeth to support. And these are one of those little things which keep me humble now, right? I will also go through that phase, right? When your loved ones are growing older around you, it gives you a glimpse in your future that what will be your life, and it will help you prepare for those days to come. So I hope this was helpful for you. I think it's a very humbling feeling to see your parent getting old and getting over those obstacles, and I'm glad that we as a family are doing it together. I wish you that it must have helped you in some way. If you are not yet there, think about it so that you can better plan and help your loved one in coming days. I always say, in the end, a rested caregiver is a better caregiver. So take care of yourself so that you can take care of your loved one, and I'll see you next week. Ciao.